Hi, I'm Johanna and welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about Guess 1981 fragrances. And I know that I've already done a video on Guess 1981 for women. This was released in 2018. I've done a special video on this several months ago. But today I want to highlight Guess 1981 for men. So I'm going to compare these two fragrances and let you know what I think. Today I'm going to be using the information regarding the notes and the fragrance from Parfumo because I just found that it is just more accurate sometimes, and for this fragrance I think it works well. The fragrance I'm highlighting today is the one for men, and this one is standing out to me because my friend has been borrowing it lately and wearing it a lot, and I didn't even recognize it on them when they started to wear it, but I was like, what is it? What are you wearing? Like, it smells, I mean, I didn't even know if it smelled familiar. Now, I have worn this, you see the level, and they've only been wearing it for like a week or so. So yeah, so I was like really intrigued. It smelled really good on them. Distinctive. It smelled very distinctive on them. Kind of in the way that iris can come across as distinctive. I think of the iris in Dior Homme Parfum for Men, and also the fragrance Girl by Pharrell Williams. Those two fragrances have a lot of similarities between them, and the iris really stands out. So in this fragrance, the iris, it doesn't stand out nearly as much because there's more going on in here than that, but it's got this unique kind of like a texture that is partly from the iris. This fragrance also has iris, but Parfumo lists it as white iris. I still detect it in here, but it seems like it's more part of the other florals because there's other florals in the women's fragrance. So both of these fragrances have fig in them. They have a few other shared notes, and those are iris and cedar. Those are the main shared notes, okay? Fig, iris, and cedar. So they do have a similarity when they dry down, both fragrances, but there are definitely differences between these. I mean, they come across very differently when you wear them. They have a different feel to them. So for the men's, the fig is more noticeable, in my opinion, in the men's fragrance. And the fig blends with the iris, and they both give it a distinctive texture, and it attracts attention when you wear it. It's like, what is that? It's an unusual scent that most people have not smelled. You know, a lot of people haven't smelled fig. So yes, the fig and the iris give it this distinctive texture that draws attention. And the men's is, I would consider it sweet, fresh, yes, but also warm. There is definitely warmth here, and it's also more creamy. So it's got amber and coconut water, and that definitely contributes to the warmth and the creaminess. Also contains lavender, which gives it a masculine feel to it, a masculine aspect, distinctively masculine fragrance. It also has the roasted tonka bean and oak moss. The oak moss in here is minimal. It doesn't smell to me like vintage fragrances do that have oak moss. The tonka bean blends with the coconut water to give it something creamy, vanillic, and slightly smoky. It's very masculine and modern. As far as wearing, I would say this could be very professional fragrance. I imagine that a man in a suit could wear it, but it can be dressed up and dressed down. You know, you don't have to dress up to wear this, but it could go dressed up. And then the feminine for women fragrance. It is, I would consider it to be sweet, floral, fresh, with the hint of aquatic marine in it. So it's adding the aquatic marine note of sea mist that is not in the men's fragrance. In the base, the Pinot Noir wine gives it a fruitier, slightly balsamic sweetness to it. And so I would say that this one's sweeter, the one for women, and it's a lot more floral. floral, sweet, and fresh. And in the base here, there's vetiver, which I think gives it a very light woody, not much, it's not noticeable, but it's lightly woody and it blends with the florals. It's got the lilac, the Californian lilac, blue lotus, and narcissus in it, in addition to white iris, and so it's just a lot more floral. This fragrance comes across as more floral. I would say that this one could fit into a professional situation as well, but it's unimposing, playful, and it can very easily go casual. This one does not stand out quite as much as unique as the men's version of the fragrance. So I did spray these on scent strips here, and it didn't take long before they were both smelling very, very similar, even though they've got only like 3 shared notes. They were smelling very similar. So I'm going to say that's mostly likely the fig. So it's a very fig forward fragrance. I mean, not so much as, what is it, Green Tea by Elizabeth Arden, Green Tea Fig. No, that one is hard to take, the fig in that. This one works well. I also sprayed both of these fragrances on my wrists. I sprayed the men's on my left wrist and the women's on my right wrist. And I noticed differences from the scent strips. So the dry down on both, you know, I had said that these smell very similar on the scent strips when they dried down. However, on my skin, this women's fragrance is a lot more floral on the dry down. The floral is still there, whereas on the scent strip, it's not as floral. Yeah, it's not as floral, and the fig is more present. On my skin, the fig is more moderate, and the florals are really, you know, they're just giving it a lot more of a clean, feminine, kind of innocent, actually. And the men's is more substantial on the skin, definitely. So as far as lasting, I'm pretty sure that the men's last longer than the women's, but if you're spraying it on clothes, I think they're both going to project. But probably the men's will project more because it's more unique compared to what you would normally find in people's like environments, and you know, regarding products that they would use. Products that you would use would be more likely to smell similar to this, like, you know, shower products or shampoos. Now, also in the men's version, there is the Givaudan trademarked base note of Sylkolide. So I looked that up and I found this, and I'm gonna link below this document by Givaudan. I found it on Givaudan.com, and this portion regarding Sylkolide is written on page 33 of a 132-page document from 2010. I think it was like something about their company and to maybe the shareholders or something like that. They were talking about what they were doing. And it says, 2 new captive ingredients were introduced to Givaudan perfumers in 2010. Castorane and Sylkolide. Okay. And then I'm going to talk about Sylkolide. Sylkolide is a revolutionary musk. It is set to become a future classic musky note. It brings a modern musky backbone that is noticeable throughout a fragrance and combines wonderfully with the red fruit facets that characterize this ingredient. So there's red fruit facets. They used it in the men's, not the women's. So for me, I mean, this is a distinctive masculine quality to it, cologne quality. So it's a modern cologne kind of quality. So maybe that musk, they're not saying it's masculine, but they're not using it in the women's fragrance. So it could be some of that you're getting here, because it does, you know, continue throughout. And as far as lasting goes, on the scent strip right now, this is about 20 some minutes since I've sprayed it. But from my recollection, the men's seems to last a little longer, seems more enduring of a fragrance than the women's. The women's is lighter. It's the florals and the freshness. It's there, but it's not as substantial. It's a lot more delicate of a fragrance. This is like a moderately substantive fragrance here, and it just like really projects and stands out. As far as these two go, I would say after smelling this one on someone else, I think this one's better. I prefer this, but this is the women's version. So this one smells so masculine, I kind of like hesitate to wear it. But this one is very easy to wear, and it's got a very clean, this is clean in a feminine way with the florals. And this one's clean in a masculine way, but it's like more synthetic, I would say. Like when you're wearing this, you could say, oh, someone just got out of the shower, they used something nice in the shower. But this one, it's definitely, they're wearing something as far as fragrance, and it's adding to what you're wearing as your whole presentation, for sure, right? Well, hopefully you liked this video. Hopefully it was informative. I know these fragrances came out in 2018, but they're still being sold, and I think they're good. They're really good, and they're not that expensive either. Not that expensive. Feel free to subscribe, feel free to comment, and I'll see you next time.